Hey there, you guys.
Good day, everyone.
So, I haven't done a video in quite some time, but I thought it'd be fun since I'm in Southern California and I have the original inspiration.
Oh my gosh. Please give me a break.
The beginning of my teaching career in debauchery.
I'm no one.
No big deal. My master thesis was just based on, teaching him and everything. So, once upon a time, I was a teacher. People don't realize that.
People don't realize that you were a teacher? How do they not realize that? What do they think you were?
I think that probably that I've always...
You were like a fisherman or something? What do they think you were? What do you do besides teach? I don't know. What
do I do? I don't know. Who knows? I partied apparently.
Can anyone answer this question? Like, what does she do besides teach?
I was a dating coach.
Okay, yeah.
Media, all that stuff.
Okay.
All right. So once upon a time, we met like 13 years ago, and it was, quite the experience.
Right. We met at a hole-in-the-wall school. I used to go to school every day and just sleep like a loser. And then she came in and told me to wake up one day, and I just woke up. So,
so the part he's leaving out is this is a school for like kids that have been expelled and like the worst of the worst. Yes, and then little 23-year-old me.
I said hole in the wall. Like, people know, like.
I don't think they
most schools are not. A little hole in the fucking wall with 5 kids. I'm sorry for cussing. Right.
It's okay.
Right.
But it was not 5 kids. There was a lot of...
All right, 10 kids. Compared to a regular class in California of like a class of like what? 30, 40?
I know, but you guys were like juvenile delinquents and gang members.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, so like, every day. So he made sure that I didn't die, kind of.
Absolutely. You know you're not going to die.
Well, I was a little afraid.
Yeah. You're definitely not going to die.
So when we met, he didn't really have a lot of motivation.
For going to school? No.
For
what?
But what changed though? Like, you're doing so well now in life. Like, you have your businesses, you live in Vegas. Like, what changed for you? Because I want people to understand, change is possible. Because my crazy ass continues to work on these things.
I think everyone goes through different things, and like just for being like me, what changed was like just being broke and not having things. Like, I just didn't want that lifestyle. So, yeah. And like, where you're like, oh, well, you can't even get a job at McDonald's without a diploma, even though I never wanted a job at McDonald's ever. But like, just that right there, like, if you can't get a job at McDonald's without a diploma, like, you can't get a job anywhere. So I kind of took that, I took heed to that. And why does my chin hair look so good? Yeah, okay, but no, I took heed to that advice, and I literally like just kind of did a little change. I didn't do a full 180, but I did like a 90. So like, I turned my life around, and then a year later I completely did a full 180 and just turned my life around. So there's that.
I mean, like, were you easy kid to get along with?
Of course. I'm not supposed to be.
No.
Look where you signed up to go. Did you think it was going to be easy? Like,
well, I didn't know, but
I'm not signed up to, like, water flowers or anything like that. So
I started on public school in Long Beach.
I know you didn't know that.
I didn't know. Yeah. I had no idea what I was getting into. Didn't know how to teach,
Yeah. You hung in there, though. You did. And I respect you for that, because like, this lady here went into a whole different culture that she knows nothing about, the people she knows nothing about. She's probably never, did you ever go to Long Beach before that?
No.
You just came straight from Sacramento there?
I went to Huntington Beach. I went Whittier.
Huntington Beach, even better.
Basically.
People have more money. Right. So like, she went straight to Huntington Beach and then to Long Beach with like a bunch of gang members and all these just like juvenile delinquent kids who just like have no direction, fatherless homes, broken homes. So, and she's stuck in there. Like, so that's why I like that. That's why you're one of my best buddies.
So
And you have faith in me, which is really the reason I like you, because I have no reason to like you for something you did for somebody else. But no, that's what
the dynamic. So as a teacher, I was a very unconventional way of speaking to students, and I used profanity and because that's how they talk. So it's kind of like became second nature.
Yeah.
And people always think that I
make more sense, Sometimes you have to fight fire with fire, unfortunately.
But I was always ridiculous, right? And said inappropriate things.
Yes.
And I think that like being authentic,
Yeah, this is nothing new. Like the way you're acting, it's not anything new. Like I think
It's
you've been doing this, huh? Like,
yeah, so my posts and everything are inspired by him because, he's like, just be you. You're hilarious. And for a long time I was concerned about, how it would be viewed. But he's like, my motivation for a lot of things. I mean, I didn't want to teach really.
Yeah, I was surprised you were a teacher, especially there. Like, why would you even be there?
But I realized I made a difference because the day after he graduated, he called me and said, he got my number out of his mom's phone and said, like, without you, I wouldn't have had a future.
Yeah.
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 And,
basically.
all of those conversations I had with you, did you go to jail after that?
No, I never. No.
No, you made it out. Like I told you to get out, get an education, and like you have so many businesses now.
Yeah.
But
I'm trying. I'm trying.
Trying. The struggle is always real, but you took the advice, like you changed your life. You got out of the gang, you moved away.
Definitely.
And
a year after, it's done.
Done.
For what? What am I gonna stay there for? I don't need to be over there. Like, you guys want to stay over there? You can stay over there. If you want to be a gang member and you want to be miserable and sad, stay there. If you want to move and change your life, move. It's actually not that hard, believe it or not.
And so when I was going through all my stuff the last couple of years, like he actually helped me a lot because like I felt like I was a lost cause, and he would remind me of all the things that I already endured and put up with over the years. And like coming down here, he came out from Vegas to hang out with me, and like when I perhaps was trying to sleep on the sidewalk outside of Hard Rock, he made sure I didn't get in at the bushes. The cops were there, and I was trying to sleep, and he did not let that happen to me. So as we've gotten older,
not in Vegas, especially at the Hard Rock. You don't understand where you're at. Like,
perhaps I had been drinking excessively and making not the best life choices.
Yeah.
So it's funny how things come full circle because 13 years later, like, he's the one that's helping me and never judgmental and like always kind. And I think that was like the part that I wanted people to see is like, as fucked up as like the last couple of years have been, like I did all of these things before and then like all of you guys come and help. It's not like, you invest all this time and energy into students and like being a teacher and like people don't forget that. And I wrote my master's on if you have one person believe in you, it can change your life.
Yeah, definitely.
And it was based on him because, like,
Don't say it's just me. Like, you have a lot of success stories.
But you were the first one because, like, I didn't know it would make a difference. I didn't understand the effect you could have on one person by just being there and, like, motivating them and such. And, like, like how hard it is to ask for help because, like, I've gone through that. So I think that I look back on everything now and, like, to accept help and, like, that your way wasn't the right way. Yeah. It's hard.
Makes sense.
Makes a little sense,
It wasn't the right way. Definitely, what I was doing wasn't the right thing for sure.
And
but
so,
I mean, like I said, it comes from like just being a product of your environment. You don't know what's really going on, especially as a kid. So you have to do what you have to do. And for me, I just did what I wanted to do. Because like I come from a good home, anyways. But like I just did what I wanted to do. Like so. And I didn't always want to do the best things, so.
And people always, but you were talking about this, like, no one would understand, like, our dynamic, basically, because of, like, where I grew up in, East Sac, upper class world. Right. Like, why would I go into this school and do?
Why? Why would you even go over there?
And that's one of those things of, like, trauma. And that was kind of the thing that we were talking about last night. It's, like, being able to reach and access people, like, talking about mental health, all these things, like, people don't understand how you end up in like a school like that. Like things happen along the way, just like people don't understand how, I behave sometimes like, a little crazy, a little bit out there because of trauma.
Just a little bit. Depending on what day of the week it is.
Yeah, it kind of goes back and forth.
I mean, it doesn't really define your character, so it is what it is.
So this is the important part. So I'm really hard on myself, perfectionist mentality, as is he. And when you can't make yourself feel better when you screw up, because I screw up all the time, or you can't get the reaction or whatever you want from somebody, like I feel like I'm failing.
Yeah.
And so when I was teaching him and such, I felt like I was failing every day because I couldn't make it better. And you reminded me though, like, like Michael Jordan.
Yeah, no, exactly. That's a good example. So like say if Michael Jordan is the greatest basketball player of all times. Like, I mean, what is there? How many games is in the season? 82 games. If you're at 60 games and you have 59 great games and you have one bad game on your 60th game, don't beat yourself up over it. You know, like praise yourself for those other 59 good games. Does that make any sense?
No, it does. It makes sense. It makes complete sense. And like, you know, like how hard we are on ourselves as a society of perfectionism and people pretending that they're better than they like the screwed up fucking hot messes that we are.
Yeah.
And like, you know, being authentic about it. And I think that's the thing that I struggle with. Like, I was always like this in real life, but you know, being able to put it out there to the world is like, you know, hard for people to know that you're not perfect and you don't make good life choices and like
no one is perfect. It's impossible. Like,
but you had to learn grace, and I have had to learn it, and that was like, you're doing the best you can. And I think that coming back here and such, like, I didn't know what it was going to be like to come back to this life. I haven't been here a couple years because of my trauma and PTSD and not trusting myself to be in such an environment. The Vegas story probably pretty reminiscent of like, you know, and having to heal yourself and stuff, like not staying in the same place. Like, I'm not in the same place as I was a year and a half ago.
Right.
You can do better. You can't get yourself out of it.
You're not supposed to be either, you know what I mean? Like, you're always supposed to be moving forward. Always.
Moving forward and keep it going. So, for all those out there, you know, this is kind of one of those things of, like, I want to show that other side of my life that, like, you know, everyone thinks I'm just this crazy party girl, which I am. But I also try to always make a difference in the world.
You do.
And that's what I've always done as well. And so it's kind of one of those really cool things to see him, because it reminds me I didn't fuck up that bad. I did something right along the way, at least, you know, because I'm not a parent, but like, you know, you're my success story. You know?
I mean, I guess you could say that, I guess.
How many businesses?
You have a few success stories, though. And like, you've done a lot since me. I mean, that was in 2008?
Yeah, I didn't do
2020. Jokes. See? And this is another thing I love about you. Like, you definitely didn't do me. We're not going there. But like, no, I mean, you've done a lot since then. Like, that was 12 years ago. So I mean, like, you've been on TV. Like, you're on all this, you know, like magazine covers and all this stuff. I'm like, damn. Like,
but I'm still
borrow something. I borrow $5. But no, that's good. Like, I'm really proud of you. You say you're proud of me, but I'm proud of her. Really. Like,
and
she's come a long way. A long, long way.
Yeah, because I would never ever show, like, my side of... no one ever knew what was wrong. We were having this conversation last night, like, how broken I was as a person all those years in teaching and stuff. And I couldn't communicate, like, why I understood all the bad behaviors and all the things that you guys were doing and acting out. And then the last couple of years when I was acting out and, like, you know, having a difficult time, you would tell me, like, it was okay, you know? And, like, people don't know,
it's
like...
life. Everyone has bad moments in life, and like a bad moment can last 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 10 years. I mean, if you live 70 years, you have 10 bad years, you still had 60 good ones, right?
So yesterday you asked me about, like, you know, did I want to die and like why and stuff, and like
because you keep saying that, I'm like, you don't want to die. You know, I've had a lot of people die, even recently, and it's like, you know, just choose life over death. You don't want to die because it's like.
But that was something that I would really struggle with my trauma and PTSD and stuff. And then, like, you would remind me, like, I care. You can't, like, peace out on me. Like, it matters. You made a difference to the world.
Right.
And, you know...
You and anyone else. Like, if you're contemplating suicide or whatever, it's like, you're being very selfish. Think about how your other people feel about you. Think about your mother, your father, your uncle, your nephew, your cat, your dog, whatever. You know? It's like, it's bigger than you. It's a bigger picture than just you. Like, if you die, you don't even really know how other people would be affected. Like, like somebody else might go hurt themselves because you did that to yourself, you know? So
whenever, like, you know, life gets, you know, difficult, like yesterday was a really rough day for me, like, he reminded me of all the things I did right. Because I can't remember in those moments and such, and, like, it's very hard to explain to other people how hard it is to live in that, like, perfectionist mind.
Yes.
And you can't make the pain better.
Yes.
But... I told you, like, you know, like, when you're going through, you just have to have someone there to listen. And if you can, like, ask for help, then you get through it. And we all have our moments of anxiety and depression, but so many people, you know, the suicide rate this year has already exceeded, like, last year or the last 4 weeks alone.
It's sad.
And, like, people are sitting at home feeling like they're the only one. And meanwhile, you know, like, I know how that feels because I sat by myself in my apartment for 16 months and, like, didn't think I was going to make it. And you came out of, like, you know, a very... bad situation and like
I've still been in bad situations, like, I mean, just like not even like just as far as like my safety, but just, you know, like taking losses, all type of stuff. Like, everyone's in bad situations all the time, like, you know, like your health, like, you know, your health could be bad. Like, it's bigger than just one or two things. Look at that butterfly.
Like squirrel. Like
no, it's just like this
peachy.
big black and yellow butterfly running around outside. But yeah, no, like.
So what would you want people to know, like, about me as a person that people wouldn't know? If you could tell them one thing.
But I don't know what people wouldn't know. How do I know what they know?
I don't know. You know a different side of me.
You're a great person. That's all that really matters. You know that. So, and I mean, you can't really let what other people think about you like affect your life and your heart, because especially if they don't know you. Now I can see if it was somebody that really knew you, that's like, oh, you're this, but like, you know, if someone that's in like, you know, Nebraska or like Iowa is like talking trash, you was like, who cares? They're there, you're here. They don't even know you, so.
Well, see, the thing is,
cares?
like, when I was younger and we met, like, you know, I could see the good in you, even though you're rolling 20s and you did all this crazy shit. Like, I could always see the good in you.
Right.
And you're still that person. You became that version versus, like, the gangbanging, like, I'm going nowhere.
Yeah.
And, like, you know, if you have someone that has faith in you, you want to be the best version of yourself. And so when I talk about trauma and PTSD and all that stuff, like, I want people to know you can get better. It doesn't always stay that way, right?
Yeah.
You keep moving forward. You keep going. Yeah. Don't look back. You know, it's kind of one of those things. I think it's awesome. So anyways, this was like a fun little adventure coming down here, hanging out with him. He's about to head back to Vegas, but I just want to share a little bit of my life with you guys. So
It's my first time on camera for a while too, so like, if I look weird and I just, you know, if I have weird motions and all this stuff, like I'm just getting back into the groove. You guys have a good one.